Hello, once again. It is time to take a look at what is happening in the world of our markets for today. And joining me today is Darin Fessler. Darin, of course, is with Lakefront Futures, and I'm Susan Littlefield here on the Rural Radio Network. Darin, we've seen a lot of green happening on the screen. We know the wheat has dropped back a little bit, but you talked about the potential of a souring factor that might find its way into these markets today, maybe even into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, big report here, just your monthly supply and demand. When you're looking at it from a trading perspective, you're seeing, okay, this has been a nice little run up off the lows here. Can the higher highs, higher lows can continue, or do we run into a little bit of resistance here? We're getting close to that 20-day EMA. And again, the same type of thing in cattle. We've had these really nice runs here. Some tariff news came out, cattle started backing off here. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards here today.
How tired do you think this market is getting right now, just in general, whether you're looking at grains or livestock?
Yeah, I mean, I think the market's getting tired of hearing about the uncertainty about trade
Mhm.
and the economic issues that we are facing. The JOLTS job numbers here today weren't all that indicative of a massive recession by any means, but it's just that uncertainty about economic policy and political policy as well, and then the looming government shutdown here at the end of the week. So I think there's a lot of just uncertainty that the market's unsure of right now, and you definitely seen that yesterday in the equities.
And I think yesterday, too, people were caught off guard when canola coming out of Canada took such a toll on the markets here in the States.
It certainly did. I mean, China slapping a tariff on Canadian canola, and again, it's the canola market. And the Canadians are just taking a beating here lately with all these tariffs. But I mean, it's just part of the new landscape we're in.
You bring up an interesting point, too. You talk about this being a new landscape that we're in. And normally we hear about tariffs and we just think about the United States. And it just shows that we're not the only ones that are out there subject to these things happening.
No, you're exactly right. I think every country around the world is trying to, bargain their best here or get jockey their position, ahead of what the U.S. may do. And obviously, the U.S. has woke up an animal here in a lot of other countries, and if you will, and so it's just, again, I think that in itself is creating some uncertainty here. But the bigger picture thinking here is, okay, if the equities start to pull back because of uncertainty, is there a flight to safety type trade in a nearby into these commodities here where they're maybe viewed a little bit more like a currency, because we still don't have that great of economic data, if you will. Inflation's still running rampant a little bit, and again, inflation is a little bit more friendly for these ags, and the dollar tanking here has been supportive here. You probably, if the dollar was 109, 110 like it was a few weeks ago, these commodities probably wouldn't be as strong as
Mhm.
we are seeing the last couple of weeks.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to dive into a whole lot of what happened in today's WASD report and a lot more coming up later today during the channel Final Bell. If you happen to miss the live program, don't worry. You can pick it up as a podcast at ruralradionetwork.com. I'm Susan Littlefield for the Rural Radio Network.